We're glad you can join us for today's practice session here at the Red Bull Ring in Austria. The weather, though, hasn't been good to us today. We have dark skies overhead and a damp track for the drivers to deal with. We should be set up for an interesting session as the teams attempt to gather as much data as they possibly can about this circuit.
They'll have to go out and start testing the track limits, so you might see quite a few cars running wide or locking their wheels as they see how hard they can push. As they get used to the track, the times will get faster and we should see less mistakes.
When it comes to getting lap time out of this circuit, it's traditionally been about maximising top speed. Do you simply remove as much downforce as possible, hang on into the corners and max out down the straights?
Top speed is a key factor for this circuit. Even if you can achieve the same lap time as someone running less wing than you, chances are you'll find overtaking difficult if you have too much drag.
Hey guys, Ben here. I'm not happy because it looks like we've got a fully wet weekend upon us here in Austria. Now, if this was F1 2014, I would have really been down in the dumps because I just hated that game in the rain. But hopefully F1 2015 can be a completely different experience. Remember, if we can hit 2,000 likes on this video, then the next episode will be out tomorrow. I've got to say, you guys absolutely smashed the likes on the previous one. As it stands at the moment, it's at like 4,700 or something. It's only a few hundred away from my most liked video, and that's insane for under... It's been 12 hours since the video went live, so that's just massive testament to you guys. But here we are in Austria. As I said, wet weekend. I don't know what the forecast is for the rest of the weekend, so I've got to go out, do some running, and just get a feel for what this track is like in the rain and get a wet setup going. So I started off fairly conservatively, went with 7/4 wings, and then gradually over the weekend, over the session really, I thought I'd just lower the downforce once I got more comfortable in these conditions. So coming around the final corner to start our qualifying session now. We've jumped straight into quali now. I didn't want to include all the commentary from David Croft and Anthony Davidson because I felt like for me personally it's already getting a bit repetitive. But in qualifying, we're in P8 at the moment. It's not, the best. Our teammate Massa is in the top 5, so that's sort of where I want to be at the moment. Not much longer in the session now. We brought it back into the pits. 3 laps of fuel, fresh tyres, and now coming around the final corner. The checkered flag is out. This will be our last chance to get a lap in. And right at the end of the session, we go P5 and displace our teammate Massa from the top 6.
They've locked to the front row of the grid for tomorrow's race.
Well, both these drivers have been working hard with the team to ensure they get maximum performance out of the car, and it looks like they've found the right combination, at least in qualifying trim. Now, we need to see how they get on in the race.
So, at the end of the session, I think that was a decent effort. Like, I wasn't that comfortable in those conditions, but I just sweated it out, got through it, and managed to get myself a decent qualifying position. At least we're still within reach of the Ferraris and the Mercedes cars, so we'll have to see what we can do for the race. But unfortunately, it's raining for this one too, so that qualifying pace may translate over into the race, so we'll have to wait and see. We need to get off to a decent start if we want to have any chance of beating these cars in front of us, and away we go here in Austria. Looks like, yeah, the start is not going to be that great, but just no traction control. If you guys are no traction users, let me know how you go on the starts, because it seems like for me personally, when I even try to do half throttle, nothing really happens and I just get shit starts no matter what. But lap 4, we've caught up to the back of Kimi Räikkönen. Now we're going to go up the inside into this 90-degree right-hander. He leaves us way too much space there. That was a joke. I think this is the biggest glitch or the biggest fault of the AI of 2015. They definitely seem to leave you way too much space when you're trying to go up the inside. And to be honest, I actually wasn't trying to pass him for the lead there, believe it or not. But lap 5, all my Christmases have come at once because I'm now in the lead of the Grand Prix. Everyone has come into the pit lane. I had no idea why at the time because I thought, the track was still, fairly wet because the rain was still coming down pretty hard and I wasn't even thinking about switching to winters. So I had to ask the engineer what was up, and he said the tyre strategy was to stop in like 12 or 13 laps time. So I was like, okay, it's definitely not time to switch over to a new set of wets because they're not worn out. So it must be time for intermediate tyres. So I had to react on the very next lap, and as you can see, Hamilton is surely going to pass us on the straight there. There he goes. It's going to be a question now if we rejoin in 3rd or 4th place now, because Rosberg had to stack behind Hamilton. Mercedes brought in both their cars on the same lap, and I thought that was very foolish, to be honest, because the track was still in a decent state when I still had my wet tyres on. But Anyway, lap 11 now, the AI are the first to react once again. And I've just realised I've been caught out a little bit here, but it's not going to be too bad. So I'm just searching for the wet parts of the track to try and keep my intermediate tyres fairly cool. And I'm putting it up into fast once again to try and not lose much time compared to the drivers on dry tyres now. So this is where the race is going to get interesting now, because we're going to go to option tyres. We're going to attack now from the offset and then go on to a set of primes to the end of the race. So we're going to make this a two-stop race from here. I'm not too sure what the AI are doing in terms of their tyre selection, but we'll have to wait and see once we pass Vettel here. It's lap 14 now. It's only taken us 2 laps to catch up to Vettel. Such is our dry pace. Vettel is on the super soft tyres as well, so that just confirms how quick we are in dry conditions. Going from low grip conditions to high grip conditions now is just an absolute dream to drive now. We're into second place. Vettel just seems to have no pace in the dry. Either that, or we're just so much quicker in these dry conditions. I am running with low downforce now, running with 3-1 wings, so it was just an easy pass to get past Vettel there. Even without DRS, it was just so simple. But lap 15 now, we can see Lewis Hamilton has set the fastest lap of the Grand Prix on a 1 minute 10.4. Our best is an 11.2, but coming up to the line, this is our first flying lap in dry conditions, and it's a 109, I think. Was it a 109.87? I can't really see from my preview window. But now, lap 22, it's pit stop time. We're coming in for a set of primes now. And this should be a fairly, I don't know, 13 laps on the set of primes. That's just about what you can get away with for a race stint. I saw on the recommended tyre life of those tyre compounds. So lap 24 now, we can see Hamilton. The gap is about 8 or 9 seconds. I thought I was really trying to back myself here and try and chase him down, because we were purple, early on in the option tyre stint when we had fresher tyres. So slowly but surely we are catching Hamilton. The gap is now 6 seconds. We're definitely catching Hamilton now, so this is getting very interesting. Heading into the final 5 laps of this Grand Prix. Yellow flags right in front of us, and that is Lewis Hamilton. He's just spun out on some of the AI cars who are 1 lap down, so massive controversy here for the Austrian Grand Prix. And as you can see on the replay, this is Hamilton. It looks like he's actually making a pit stop. He spun off one of the Toro Rosso cars. Unbelievable. You could not script this stuff. Coming into the penultimate corner, Hamilton has just gone in too deep. But to be fair, I don't know, whose fault is that? Is that the lap car's fault? Or is it Hamilton's fault, just diving in there too late? I gotta say, Hamilton was going slower at the time, so possibly it was the lap car's fault, just turning in front of him. So that was very interesting. I could not believe my eyes when I saw Hamilton facing the wrong way at the penultimate corner. It was just, it's the last thing you'd expect to see, but as you can see on the replay from Alonso, yeah, I don't know. Let me know in the comments who's at fault for that crash. But we've got to get back on with this race now. There's only 4 laps left. Hamilton has made his pit stop after spinning after that. And now Rosberg is into second place. The gap is about 11 seconds from us to Rosberg. So it looks fairly comfortable at the moment. But meanwhile, Hamilton is already on the move. He's now into P3. This is a replay of him passing Raikkonen for a final spot on the podium. Of course, he is on fresh super soft tyres, so he is very quick at this phase of the race. 11 seconds from us to Rosberg, but only 3 seconds from Rosberg to Hamilton. So I think for sure Hamilton is going to get himself back into second. Is he going to run out of laps though before he catches us? Or he's going to catch us, but I think we have enough of a lead now for us to not worry about him. But anyway, lap 35, Hamilton sets a 108.3. That is blistering pace. I'm doing 12s at the moment, so I'm 5 seconds slower than him on the previous lap. And we've got 1 more lap to go after this one. Here's a replay of the pass for Hamilton, getting into second place now. And at this stage, I'm not going to lie, I was starting to shit myself a little bit, because Hamilton, he's now closed the gap to 6 seconds. And if you remember, he was 5 seconds faster on the previous lap, so the final lap is going to be even worse now. So at this stage, I was like, oh crap, I got to put the fuel up into fast now. I've just been cruising up until this point. I don't know what the hell I've been doing, but now I've got to defend from Hamilton on this final lap. All I've got to do is keep it on the track for 9 more turns. There's just 4,236 meters left of racing. Hamilton, the gap is now 4.5 seconds. So, I don't know, guys. I literally think we are going to lose this race. at this stage of the race. We're just too slow. Hamilton is just way too quick on fresh tyres. Now we've just completely stuffed up the second corner, and now Perez has unlapped himself. That is just how slow we are going at this phase of the race. Thankfully for us though, Perez slots in behind us and doesn't hold us up because he knows that we are in a titanic battle at the moment with Lewis Hamilton. I just need all the help I can get now with those 2 lap cars of Kvyat and Perez in the way. Team radio. So on the final lap, with only a few corners left to go, Felipe Massa, who has the same tyres as me, has just lost one of his. So that could happen to us at any stage of this Grand Prix. Look at that, heading into the final 2 corners. Lewis Hamilton is right behind us. This is going to go right down to the wire. I've got nothing left on the tyres. Final corner, massive oversteer. It's going to be side by side to the line. And we have just, only just, won the Austrian Grand Prix.
It's been a good...
Get out of here, Crofty. No one asked you. What a Grand Prix that was. Unbelievable. We won by only 2,000ths or 200ths of a second in the end. Just everything went down perfectly. The strategy from going from wet to intermediate tyres, Hamilton spinning out with the lap car. If that didn't happen, we for sure would have lost the lead. Like with 3 laps to go. That's just insane. We pulled that off to perfection, and that is now our 3rd win in a row in this season. I thought Canada was honestly one of the best races we'll get this season, but by far, Austria has just provided a race that was 10 times better than what we saw in the previous episode. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you like this video if you enjoyed it as well. 2,000 likes, and the next episode will be out tomorrow. We are now so much closer to 2nd place in the driver's standings. Just 6 points separates us from getting into the top 2. Hamilton still leads by 36 points is the gap from us to him. So if we continue this kind of streak into, you know, the next 3 to 4 rounds, we could potentially have the lead of the driver's standings. I never thought I'd say this at the start of the season, but we have had a lot of luck today go our way, and if I'm brutally honest, I don't know if we're quite capable of matching Mercedes consistently at every single racetrack this season, so we're going to have to wait and see. Obviously, as time goes on, I'm going to get a little bit faster at this game, so we could see ourselves being on the podium or getting race wins, being more of a familiar occurrence in this series. But that's been this episode of F1 2015 Career Mode. Leave a like once again if you enjoyed this series. Let me know where you think we're going to finish in the driver's standings. But yeah, I just can't believe the last 2 races we've had. They've been absolutely epic. But I'm going to stop rambling. I'm going to let you guys go and enjoy the rest of your day. Until my next video, guys, I'll see you next time.
3 to go in what has been a truly dramatic World Championship. Oh my goodness me! Vettel's taken the place, and that could cost Hamilton the World Championship.